Hi there, welcome back to English via English. So today I'm going to explain for you the three prepositions since, for and from, and how to use them in perfect continuous tenses, namely present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense and future perfect continuous tense. Remember that the first two, since and for, they can be used as conjunctions as well, but today we are going to treat them and use them as prepositions, and we will find out how they are different at the same time they have something in common. Okay, so the video will be divided into three parts. First, this is what you have to remember. Then the scientific or logical explanation behind these rules. And finally, we will be coming across examples of practical situations where we will be using since, for, and from. All right, so first of all, we have to understand that there is a vital difference between continuous tenses and perfect continuous tenses. So a continuous tense, be it present, past or future, simply indicates that the action is on the continuous mode or there is a sense of continuity, nothing else. But all the three perfect continuous tenses, they indicate something extra, and that is a sense of duration, a sense of expansion of time or a time lapse. Okay? So whenever we use the three perfect continuous tenses, there is the indication of continuity with duration. All right, now this is very, very important. So we are coming across something new, and that is duration. Now we can express this idea of duration in terms of three different ways. We have to frame adverb phrase of time, specifically duration, by using since, for and from. So use any one of these three prepositions first, then put a noun or noun phrase. Ultimately, it becomes an adverb phrase of time or adverb phrase of duration. So in order to express the idea of duration, we have to use since, for and from. But remember that since, it is never to be used in future tenses. From, on the other hand, is never to be used in present and past tenses, while for, which is sort of an all-rounder, can be used in all the three tenses, past, present and future. So if this is the rule, or if this is the distinction, so what is the scientific reason or logic behind all this? Here we go. So duration, if we want to understand or if we want to express the idea of duration, we have to have the starting point of an action and the end point of an action. Okay. Now, since this particular preposition, it indicates duration in a particular way. And that is, remember that since expresses the starting point. So the starting point is given, but the end point is not given, but referred to. All right. Take for example, if I say I have been teaching English since January last 2025. So the starting point is clearly given, but the end point is not given that way. So we can still get the duration by calculating this time lapse. So January 2025 till this is April, end of April. So this is a lapse or time span of 4 months. So ultimately, we are coming across the duration nonetheless. That means we have to calculate the duration on our own. In case of for, the starting point and the end point, both the points are just referred to. They are not given, but the duration of the time lapse is calculated and it is given as clear-cut data. So what is the reason behind this? Take for example, if I say I have been teaching English for 4 months. I am giving the duration or the time lapse straight away 4 months. Now, how is the starting point referred to in case of for? That means the end point is right now. Okay? For 4 months meaning the end point is right now. Go back in time by 4 months, so you will be getting the starting point. So in case of for, the duration is clear-cut given, but we can easily understand the starting point and the end point because they are referred to. Last one, from, here it is sort of a peculiar situation. Now in case of from, the duration is still indicated. Here in case of from, the starting point is again clearly given, but the end point of that action is never ever given nor is referred to. As a result, from, it can never gives us the idea of the duration. It is some sort of vague, some sort of unclear to us. Then we can say that in case of since, the duration is to be calculated. In case of for, the duration is already calculated, and here from, the duration cannot be calculated. Alright, let's go back to this first segment. Here I have written that since can never be used in future tense. Why? So the condition where since is usually used, starting point given, end point not given but referred to, this can happen only in past and present tenses. Then for, it is to be used in all the three tenses because here the duration is clear-cut given. Therefore we can assume on our own the starting point and the end point, no issue. So for can be used in all the three tenses, past, present and future. But from, it can never be used in present and past tenses simply because the condition it requires or it demands is like this, that the starting point is given but the end point is never ever to be understood or given. That means here it is one end open. So that can happen only in future tenses. Past is closed, already known. Present is also closed, already known. But only future is extended to infinity. That's why from is to be used only in future tenses wherever we want to express the idea of duration. Fine, let's now come across examples or practical situations and try to apply these three prepositions correctly over there. Okay, first sentence, he will be writing a novel on the issue. Now this is future continuous tense. We know that the future perfect continuous tense is not in vogue. It is no more in practice that way. So we express the idea of future perfect continuous tense through future continuous these days. That's why here we have got a future continuous tense which is indicating the idea of continuity with duration. So here we have two options. We have to use either since, for or from. Now since it is future tense, obviously by this rule since is automatically opted out. So we are left with for and from. So do we get over here any clear-cut duration? If yes, for; if no, from. So the first option, next month. Next month is not giving the idea of clear-cut duration of time. So it will be from. But the other one, he will be writing a novel on the issue dash at least 6 months. So here we get the clear-cut expansion of time, time lapse. So we have to use for. Next, number 3, they have been learning English here dash a year dash last year. Present perfect continuous tense. So in present perfect continuous tense, remember, we use only since and for and never from. So the first option, a year, is clearly indicating the expansion of time of 12 months. So here we have to use for. But the other one, last year is the starting point of an action. Therefore, the other option will be since. Now number 3, she had been practicing dash 2 years, her recovery before I joined. Okay, so we know that in the past tense, from is not to be used, never to be used. We are left with the two options, since and for. So the first option, 2 years, a clear-cut duration of time. Here we have to use the preposition for. But the other one, she had been practicing dash her recovery before I joined. Here, her recovery is the starting point of her action. She started practicing from that timing onwards. So it should be since. Now the sentence is, she had been practicing since Adekabari before I joined, or she had been practicing for 2 years before I joined. Alright friends, so that's it about this video today. So always understand grammar logically, scientifically, so that you can understand it easily and properly. You can retain it for longer period of time, and you can even teach that particular rule or formula to somebody else. So that is how grammar should be learned and applied. Alright, so keep watching all the other video contents on this channel already available for you, and get better day by day and have greater command in English and serve your motherland. Thanks for watching.